Okay, so welcome to Not Your Cup of Tea with Aisha
Tia.
and Tia. And this is Dr. Darian Lyons.
Hi.
And I will let her introduce herself because,
Like they said, I'm Dr. Darian Lyons. I'm originally from Georgia. I've been in Nashville for a year and a few months, so I'm excited to be here. Thank you, ladies.
yeah, we're happy to have you. So we have a lot to unfold. February, we are only 14 days in, and yeah. So what did y'all think about like the Super Bowl, being that it's Black History Month with Kendrick? Like, what was y'all's outlook? Because I know some people are like, yeah, it was great. Some people are like, oh my God,
Hated it,
what?
but
Yeah.
I loved it. I thought it had a good message behind it. If you really watched and even took the time to go back and dissect it afterwards,
Yeah.
there was a lot of messages for us behind it. And I liked it. You have your people that are not going to like it, or not even don't like it, just don't understand. Like, my mama called me and was like, okay, Tia, who is that? Who is she? What she say? I'm like, mama is SZA.
Right. You have to interpret like what's going on. Half of the people were like, "Oh, I don't even know what he's saying."
What is he saying?
Turn the captions on.
Yeah.
Like, help
so
yourself.
there was a lot behind it, and like I said, I thought it was good. I'm a Kendrick fan, so I like him anyway, regardless of what his message was behind his performance.
Yeah.
So I was gonna like it anyway because I liked it when he came before with Dr. Dre and Snoop a few years ago. That was a good show to me.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. Like with Kendrick, I feel like he said that he wanted his show to tell a story, and I feel like he accomplished that. So happy Black History Month to us.
Happy
It was
Black History
well
Month.
served. What did you think?
No, I thought it was great as well. I think if you're not a Kendrick fan, then you don't know
Yeah.
like what
True.
to expect, and you don't know how to receive it, especially in today's music. I feel like a lot of people listen for the beat and not the words, and Kendrick is the lyricist. And so you have to really like just be in tune with music like that, and it's not for everybody. Kendrick is not for everybody.
It's not. And people don't even realize he's a Pulitzer Prize winning artist.
Yes.
So that's a big deal.
Absolutely.
He's not just your regular Joe Schmo on the corner trying to rap. You know,
Like his competition, the certified lover boy, Drake.
That's hard.
So yeah, Kendrick, I would say, is not everybody's cup of tea.
Exactly.
And that's okay.
He's not. That's okay.
Yes.
That is okay.
Yes. And he did it his way. He didn't try to make his concert. He didn't try to make it that halftime performance, to just blend in or just, meet everybody. He did exactly what he wanted to do his own way, which is literally what his concerts are mostly like. So I respect it.
100%.
Yep.
So happy Valentine's Day. It's February 14th. So what does 2025 dating look like for y'all?
It doesn't exist.
What is dating?
What I did just
I mean, I don't try. I don't know if that's weird. I just don't try because
I don't think that it's weird. I think that that's just where we are
the
now.
last relationship I was in, I didn't try for that. It just happened.
Yeah.
So I don't try. If it happens, it does. If we go out and we gel, good. But if not, hey, peace out.
Is it that you don't try, or you just don't have the expectation of?
I don't try. It's not that I don't have expectations, because I do. I give everybody a chance. Probably too many.
Don't we all?
But I just don't try. I don't.
Like I was telling
But you're
her,
open to dating.
I am. I'm 100% open to it.
like when I first met her, shout out to my good sis Bria.
Yes, hey Bria.
For introducing me to Darian. But I was telling her, like, I just feel like the pandemic like ruined people's aspect of like what dating looks like. Like a long time ago, like you didn't have to be on the little dating profile things that people use. Like the dating apps.
Yeah, swipe.
What is it called?
Tinder.
Yeah, swipe right, swipe left. Like I feel like now, like people have so many options. They're like, oh well, I like girls that look like this. I like girls that look like that. And you're just scrolling like you're looking through a magazine versus like a long time ago, you used to be out at a club.
Right.
Shout out to Grand Central Station. That
And
used to
Faded.
be the right.
Faded,
Okay.
Mix Factory.
Yeah,
all of
like
the
you
above.
used to go out and meet people, and like if you didn't like him, you could be like, "Nah, I'm not really feeling it." Right then,
right
in their
then
face,
there. Yes.
or give them your number. Like, but now, like, I just don't feel like we have
I think it
that.
started before the pandemic. I think it started with social media.
Yeah,
I think that's
right.
where it started. I think the less in-person interaction that we had, that communication and just everything just started to go away. Because like she said,
it dwindled fast.
you have it at your fingertips now, whether it's social media or on a dating app, and it's you can pick from anything. You can have conversation with somebody long distance, and that's your long distance, babe. You know, so it's
Tried that before too.
long distance just does not
long
work.
distance
Because
is
what are we
hard.
doing?
Long distance is
I
hard. You have to
started
be
it
committed.
started long distance and I ended up moving there. So
Okay, because
Yeah, well, you
I
have
can't do
to
it.
be committed. You really have to be committed
Yeah.
to long distance,
You have to trust.
You have to trust, and that is something hard. The biggest thing with long distance is people have to understand the communication part. I recently went through this. I dated somebody long distance, and I would tell him our only source for communication is talking on the phone. That's all we have until we meet up, which was like every blue moon. So if you're going out all the time and I'm barely talking to you, like, what are we doing here?
We're
And
not
it's like,
doing
I'm not
nothing.
saying you can't go out, but if you're going out way more than you talk to me, that's a problem.
Yeah.
So I'm just at this point, I'm not for long distance. I can't do it. It's not
yeah,
for me.
it's different. And like I said, I ended up moving. I moved to Georgia actually.
Shout out to the best state ever.
I ended up moving there because of a long distance relationship, and it started out long distance, and we were together for a few years. It worked out for a few years, but then I needed to come back home. I needed to come back home. There were things here that were unfinished.
so why didn't it work out?
I was in love with somebody else. I'm gonna put it out there like that. I had feelings
Ooh,
I had feelings
happens.
for somebody else that I didn't let go of. And they were getting to a point in their life to where they were open and able to start something. So I left. I came back home
That's
and-
my problem.
and did
I
that.
wouldn't go.
That still ended up not working out as well.
I was going to say, so what did we learn from that?
Oh, what I learned from that.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did. It that ended up. I mean, and either both of them, they were. I won't say they were like, hey, we were together a year. They were like years. You know, we were in there for some years, but it just didn't work out.
I have a problem with leaving doors open. Like, they're not
I
just
do.
like wide open. Like, it's just like a little small crack. Like, hey, how are you?
Where you
how's
can,
your family?
where you can come in.
Like,
sometimes
hey,
if you
big
want
head.
to.
Hey,
Yeah.
stranger. Yeah, like, that's me, and that's my problem. Like, I need to work on fully closing doors and chapters with people.
And I think we talked about that when, the very
Yeah.
first time we met. So when we talked, I
Man.
think we probably
Red
talked
beef
for
or
like
Phil,
a
'cause I
whole
was like,
hour. And then she was like,
"Ooh."
yeah, you need to come on this podcast.
I
And it was
like,
just mostly like
Yeah.
around boundaries. You know, there was a guy that we met, and he was just trying to talk to her, and she was just like, I can't because I'm just in a situation. And I was like, okay, what does that look like? And I was like, oh, there's a lot to unpack here.
Yeah.
Let's unpack this.
it was luggage, and I was like, I can't talk to him and him expect something from me, and I'm not in a place to give anything. Like, I'm not close to dating, but I know I have a lot going on, and I
Right.
feel like I need to get that resolved before I can give somebody
Right.
that,
You've
what
got
they
to
deserve.
be clear of
Yeah.
your baggage before you can bring somebody else into it, because then, you know, you're
Your-
kind of adding them to your
exactly.
baggage.
Your
Yeah.
laundry is just out in the street.
No, but it's true. You don't want to go into something new with holding on
Yeah.
to the past. Like, you don't want to bring that into your new relationship because you're already sabotaging that relationship. From the
Hence
get-go.
why I ended up moving back from Georgia here, because
Yeah.
I was holding on to something that really, to be honest, I was hoping that would happen. But, and it ended up happening, you know, but I went into that with baggage, with
So I have a question.
Yes.
So you moved for another person,
I
but
did.
you were in love with somebody
I was.
at that time. What made you want to just say, I'm just going to go to Georgia and try it with this person? Even
I'm
though
trying to
I'm
be discreet
completely
because I
in
don't want
love?
to put everybody out there like that.
You don't have
But
to
if
say no names.
I'm
You
not
don't have to
saying
say
names.
no
But if I
names.
say what I'm about to say, then everybody's going to know that knows me or knows anything about me. So the reason why I ended up coming back is because that person that I had those feelings for, that I was really truly in love with, he was in prison. And it was time for him to come home. We had been talking, we had been writing. We have a child together, so again, everybody's gonna know who it is. But yeah, we had a child together, and we wanted to try to make that work. So this time, while I am in Georgia in this relationship, yes, I'm writing someone else. Yes, I'm, communicating with someone else. So I guess I was in an emotional relationship with somebody else while I was in a physical relationship with somebody.
So that's
Yeah,
my question. What made you want to just be with this person that you moved to Georgia, knowing that you wasn't there?
Woo.
Because I feel like sometimes emotional cheating is worse than physical cheating.
It is
is.
by far because your head,
'Cause your head is not
you're
there.
wrapped
Yes.
completely. Everything about you is wrapped in your
So what was it?
emotional
Was it just like
connection.
something safe? Like something to...
I wouldn't even say it was safe. I can't even say it was safe. Maybe something new, because me being from Tennessee, being from here, I had never stepped outside of that. Everybody that I had dated prior to that was in my little hometown. So that was something new for me. Like I went to college here. Like everything was here. So
I understand that because like when you're from a small town, you like want to get out. If
It's-
somebody could give you a better opportunity or
Yeah.
let you see new scenery from what you're used to, like jump on that opportunity and go.
And he was a good guy. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to like make it seem like he was, because he was really good. Like he accepted my kids and everything. Really good guy. But yeah, I knew early on, and this is bad to say that I'm saying, and I've never said this out loud, but I knew early on that was not my person forever.
I understand. I've been there.
I feel like we all
I was
have.
in a relationship for 3.5 years, and after a year and a half, I knew that if I was not in love with this person, this was not going to work. But I stayed in it because I was comfortable in the fear of just starting over. I just did not want to do.
And see, for me, like I was in love, but our relationship was so toxic. I had already made up my mind, like I'm about to leave you at any moment. I just needed the time to get to the point where, like, okay, I'm done. This is over. And I can't even say that one relationship has been like that. Like it's just multiple. But I feel like as women, we find ourselves in those situations all the time because we have a picture perfect relationship in our minds, and that person is that for only so long until like you get to know them and you're like, oh wait, whoa, I don't think that you're really what I was looking for.
Right.
It's that potential.
I
We
see the
hold
potential
to
in
that
people.
potential. I tell you now, I don't do potential. I need my man to come potential, okay? I don't do potential. Come potential, okay? 'Cause I just can't. That potential will eat you up every single time because it's like, I know the man that you can be, but if you don't see it, I'm not going to be able to help you.
Yeah,
So
I
you
can't
got to
teach
want to
you.
see it on your own.
I'm not in the
Yeah.
teaching business.
I did
don't want that.
not go to school to be a teacher.
I didn't either.
Can't raise a man is what Kay
cannot.
Michelle
You
said.
cannot. You cannot.
No, I agree wholeheartedly. I always tell my nail tech, shout out to Angie, if I could have a business at like building a man, like we would be so successful. But then of course like the man would have to stand on it. But if you could like make a perfect person, would you do it?
No.
No.
You wouldn't do it.
No.
I don't think there is such thing as perfect person.
There's
we live
not.
in a world.
Yeah, no, of course.
I would
Nobody's
not.
perfect.
I want
In
you
a
to be
perfect
you.
world.
I want you to be you.
Right.
Yeah.
I want you to be you. I want me to show you you. And then that is my decision on whether I want to deal with you or not.
True.
At this point, you just gotta pick somebody and figure out what your deal breakers, what you can handle, what you can't handle, and then just deal with the
Yeah.
rest. I mean, that
Yeah.
That's what it is. I wouldn't want to build a perfect man because I don't think that there is one. Just
There's
like I don't
not.
think that there's a perfect woman.
There's not a person.
We all
perfect
have our
person.
flaws.
At all. Yeah.
You just have to figure out if you can deal with that flaw or not.
Yeah.
So
And a lot of the flaws in today's society, like the dating pool is like really pissy. So like it's
Yes.
just a lot.
you gotta change. You gotta change where you meet these people. You gotta really step out of your comfort
That's why
zone.
we,
see,
I
I-
told you we need to go to them hotels. Like,
in the hotel lobbies.
to the, where was we at? The Four Seasons that time. Yeah, we need to go have dinner there.
But no, for real, you really do have to change your environment. I tell my friends say this all the time, and I used to say it too. It needs to be like, oh, I just attract so and so, and I'm like, no, you don't. You attract anybody. I can attract, a random person off the street. It's about who I entertain. I entertain the same person.
See, I used to say that too. That is so true. Because
Man,
I'm
that's
like,
it.
do I attract? Again, I'm about to be transparent, but do I have like, if you're married, come talk to me on my forehead?
Listen, I get it. That was me. Like, I don't have any kids, so I felt like all the guys I was hot to have had
Same.
kids. So I'm like, do I have stepmom written across my
No,
forehead?
seriously.
Like, is that my destiny? And it's like, no, I just entertain people that have
and,
kids,
hey,
and I get myself in these complicated situations.
Wow, and I guess
Case in point, like yours, where they go back because I want my kid to have a 2-parent household, and so go through that. And I was like, yeah, I'm done. Like, I gotta switch it up. No more dads for me. Out there, no more dads for me.
I said that like, oh, I don't want to date anybody with kids, but like I don't have any kids, so then you get the guys chasing you that have like 15 kids, and they're like, oh, well, me and you could have a kid together. Why would I want to be baby mama number 57?
That just sounds so ghetto.
Like it
Could
is.
you imagine telling your family and friends, oh yeah, girl, I'm baby mama number 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
No, I would
That's
never.
But
not
see,
my
I've
destiny.
done that. I've been all over the spectrum. I've had no kids. I have had, how many he had? 8 kids. Like, for real. 8 kids. I have had
That's tough.
kids are being grown, which is to me the best.
See, I can
Yeah,
see
they
that.
out
I
the
would
way.
do that. Let me take that back.
Right, you like, wait a minute.
I would date somebody who kids are grown.
Kids are being grown. That is the best because you build relationships with those kids.
Yeah.
Like it's good. So I've been all over the spectrum with the whole kid thing, and I can't be like just dead set on that with no kids because I have kids. Well, they're not kids; they're grown. But at that time, I had kids myself, so I couldn't discriminate against somebody and be like, "Hey, well, you got kids." Well, they could be like, "Bitch,
it
you
is
got
some
kids
people
too."
out there that like have kids but don't want to date other people with kids
Oh,
because they want their children to be priority.
I know a few like that will not date men that have kids, but they have
But
kids.
they have kids. How is that fair?
And then you're taking up a space for somebody like us
For
that
like
don't
us,
have
who don't have
kids.
kids. Exactly. Save him for me. Save him for me.
Nah, I get
Yeah,
that.
it's the selfish mentality. Like I want you to focus
is.
on me and my kids versus
Yeah,
having
that's
to.
not fair. I don't like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was not that person.
Yeah, but I've never been opposed to dating someone with children. It really do depend on how many you have. I really can't go past 3. Like 3 is strong.
3 is giving substitute teacher.
Exactly.
Anything after 3 is giving substitute teacher.
I would really only prefer like 1, maybe a half. But like, yeah, I don't know.
But no, in all joking, for me, I love kids. I work in the field with kids. That's what I do. I get attached easy. And so it's hard for me, to just be like, dang, we over. But like, can I be like co-parent with these kids? That's
And
not
that
my
is
kids,
hard.
So it's hard.
That is
Exactly.
very
you
hard
you build a bond with them.
I can relate to that too because said person that I moved back to Tennessee for he had 2 older children that were older than our daughter. And when we got together, I built relationships with those kids. They were with me a lot. So I built relationships with them, and when things break off, not only for me with his kids, but for with him with my older daughter, that's awkward.
Yeah.
It is. It is.
So yeah, now I'm just dating for me is non-existent in 2025. I just feel like this is my year to focus on myself. like I was saying last month, in our last month's podcast, last year was my fun girl era. I did what I wanted to do, traveled, but this year I'm just gonna chill, focus on myself, figure out what I want from somebody, unpack my luggage, and see like what happens after that. Because I don't know where we go from here in 2025. Like, I don't feel like the dating pool is gonna get any better than what it is.
Just have to navigate through it. I think I'm just in a season of I don't have any expectation right now.
Which is a
I'm
good
just
place to be.
letting it.
Just let it happen.
Just let it happen.
Just
Let the
organically,
flow. Yeah,
just let
it happen.
And that's where I am too. I just let it happen. Like I said, I'm not looking. I'm not opposed to it. But if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And
Yeah,
I'm okay with
I
that.
get that wholeheartedly. So, what is like your love language? If someone did come up to you, like what would like get your attention?
So, I am, first of all, let me just disclaimer, I'm all about personality quizzes. My job has put me there. So, I took the love language personality quiz, and it said that I am first of all, before I say that, let me give you all 5 love languages. So, they're words of affirmation, quality time, physical touch, acts of service, and receiving gifts. So where I fell in was my first 2 were words of affirmation, and then my second was gifts, which the gifts kind of surprised me because don't get me wrong, I like stuff. I like things to be given, but I'm not you can't buy me kind of person. That, I'm that kind of person. The words of affirmation, though, that did kind of surprise me as well because I'm usually not one that I don't want to hear you tell me like
oh, hey, you're beautiful.
Yeah.
Good morning, queen.
Grand Rising Queen.
that makes me feel weird.
You're like, oh, okay, thanks, stop.
But apparently from the quiz that I took, that is what I like. Now, I will say I would have thought for me acts of service would have been up top. Because I am that person to where if you can do things to make my life easier, that makes me happy. So I guess I'm an acts of service too. Quality time, don't get me wrong, let me throw that in there too. I love quality time. I love for us to spend time together, but I'm not clingy. Which is why physical touch is at the bottom.
Yeah.
I'm not clingy, and I mean, we can cuddle, but like when it's time to go to bed, you be on your side, I'll be on my side because it gets hot.
No, I'm the same way. We can cuddle for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
And then after that,
The timer is on when we start cuddling.
So yeah, that's where I am though. What about you guys?
So I took the quiz a long time ago. I have not taken it recent. But my first one, I think, was physical touch. And then my second one was, I think, is it quality?
Quality time.
Quality time. And then the gifts, which I was shocked with the gifts. Kind of, sort of, I guess I was a little bit, like, I'm like you don't have to buy, like, my love or whatever, but like if I'm just saying, in conversation like, oh, I need this, or not even saying I need something, just saying like,
me.
oh, I looked at this, and you come and actually get it, and I'm just saying it, just
And
in
not
conversation.
expecting it.
Yeah, it's like, that's really nice.
Yeah.
To let me know that you're paying attention.
Yeah.
To
Exactly.
what I'm saying, but I do the same thing as well. So definitely like,
Me too. I'm a giver.
yeah,
which-
I'm a giver.
Yeah.
and
And I
learned
know
that.
Isha is
Also,
too.
Yeah.
a real bag.
Yes,
Got a real
and
bag.
I get it from my mom, and it's so funny because I remember telling her when I'm like younger, like you used to just do way too much for my dad, like, and not saying my dad didn't do for my mom, but I'm just like, girl,
You
like,
sound like
chill.
my daughter.
And
To
now,
me.
and now it's just so crazy because I'm the same way. Like I'm just, but you don't even get up. I got it.
Yeah.
And it's just so
Yeah.
funny because I feel like a lot of that is based off of how you grow up and what you've seen. And I came from a 2-parent household.
Well,
so.
see, I didn't. So
I
I
didn't
didn't
either.
see that. So,
Really?
which
Yeah.
is weird for me to be that kind of person because my parents got divorced when I was 4. Mm-hmm. I mean, don't get me wrong, my dad has always been in my life, but my parents were divorced when I was 4, so it wasn't like that I had that 2-parent household to where I seen my mom catering to my dad or,
But was she dating anyone else in that time? That
Oh
you
yeah,
just seen?
she did, but it wasn't like that either. She did, and ended up married. They were together from the time I was like 5 until now. They're still together. They're married now. But it still wasn't that Beyonce let me cater to you type thing, you know. So I don't know where I got that from. I'm just a giver. And not only to men in relationships. Like, if you're a really good friend of mine, Isha will tell you, I can give great gifts.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm such a gifter.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't take the quiz, but clearly I'm behind and I need to take this personality quiz or whatever also. But I am very much, I read a thing, an article or whatever, and it was about love bombing. And I'm like, am I love bombing with my gifts? It's like where you give people like, and I don't know.
You pretty much just sell a dream. Like, you do all this like grand romantic gestures. You just go all out. You're really like, oh, like, I know you're gonna be the one for me, and it's the complete opposite.
Okay, well,
it's
now I don't do all that.
It's just to lure you in.
Okay, so see, I'm not
love bomb is just
technically a
luring.
love bomber because I'm not selling nobody no dream. What you see is what you get. But I definitely am a gifter, like even to my friends in relationships. So, but I feel like it goes in both categories, like with men and then your female relationships also. Like, I feel like I'm a gifter. That's
I think
where
it's
I'm at.
important for everyone to take that quiz, and especially like when you get into a relationship, because you need to know like if your love language is kind of the same. Because like for you, like if physical touch is like at the top of my list and it's not yours, like that's gonna be a problem.
Bad because you're gonna want to touch me, and I'm gonna be like, what are you doing?
Exactly. So I think it's really important. I say a lot of people get into relationships and they talk about, oh, they just want to do this, that they just want to do that. I'm like, okay, well, have they, like, is that their norm? Like, are they used to doing that? Like, is it something that you guys can compromise on? And you want to be equally yoked with somebody. And one of the ways you can find out is taking that test. Like, what's your love language? What does that look like?
I'm all about personality
And
quizzes.
then can you compromise? Because, physical touch might be at the bottom for yours, but can you meet me in the middle?
Right. And I am a compromiser. I will meet you where, especially if I'm feeling you like that, I will meet you wherever I need to. Especially if I'm feeling like that now.
I think that plays a huge part. Like, if I really like you, like, I will cross the whole board. But if I'm just
if I'm undecided or like if I'm just like no,
I'm good.
You.
I'm good on that. So I think it really does depend on how much you like somebody.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. I tell that to anybody. If whoever, man, female, if they're not trying to meet you in the middle, they don't like you. Stop it. Just stop trying to make it work.
True.
Stop trying. That man, that woman does not like you.
Oh my gosh. See, I told you.
When you get in a relationship, you won't, and you love right. You don't never have to ask for nothing. Never.
Right.
Never.
You're right.
If you gotta ask, that person does not like you, and stop trying to make it work.
I told you, like, flat. Thank you. Because sometimes we need to hear that, but I feel like we overlook red flags because we're like, oh, well, you know,
Well, maybe it
he
ain't
good
bad.
over here. He
Yeah.
ain't so bad because this is good, but then blah, blah. Like, yeah. If he's not willing to do something that means a lot to you, why are y'all entertaining each other? Wasting
That's
time.
true.
You wasting your time, and then what a lot of people do is they get mad, and then they say, "Oh, he wasted my time." No,
No, you wasted your own
wasted
time.
your time because he told you.
You're right.
He showed you the
I
action,
wasted
and
my
you chose to
time.
be around.
I chose to stay in this
wasted my
mess.
time.
Yes.
So I wasted my time. Not you. I can't even blame him because it was me.
Yeah. And that's one thing that we talked about, like just not even wasting time, just boundaries. Like, do you have great boundary
I
management?
don't.
So-
I'm real bad. I have no boundaries.
I just started. I've been on a therapy journey for 3 years now. I started seeing a therapist 3 years ago, and that was one of the first things we laid out. Was that I had to set, because I didn't set boundaries. Not even in relationships with a significant other, in my family relationships, in my friendships. I didn't set boundaries. It was just free for all. Okay, yeah. Is that what you want? Okay, sure. I was a yes man.
Whatever you like.
Yeah.
Whatever you like.
What was the lady in
Oh, wait,
Coming to America?
Yeah.
I mean, but I was. But she helped me to understand that I needed to set those boundaries and that saying no is okay. I used to think saying no was selfish. I don't anymore because she has helped me build that. But yeah, I used to think saying no to people was so selfish, and I never said no to anybody. I would do everything for everybody, and at the same time, overwhelming myself and stressing myself out with like, how am I going to do this? What am I going to do? I figured it out, but still, like, you don't have to do that to yourself. Just say no, you can't do it.
And then you have people start depending on you, right? Because
And they do.
God forbid you
man.
always show up and you don't show up one time.
Then I'm
and
being
now they're
selfish.
upset.
End of the
Yes,
world.
yes,
I'm
because
being
they expect for you to show up every time. Guess what? You've been showing up every time.
I have.
And see, that's my problem. I don't know how to say no. Like, if somebody needs me, like, I'm there. Especially if it's like family, friends, like, I'm 10 toes at the door, like,
Yeah.
ready to go. But I'm like, who helps that person? Like, if,
Who helps us?
yeah, like, if I'm always that to other people, who is that to me? Like, that.
Then you need
is
to
one
step back and look at your circle.
Well, no. My circle's good. It's like dating wise. Dating wise, no, I didn't have that. Like, I would always do and go and be, but I didn't have that backup. No, my circle tight. Don't have any problems
can
there.
say
Like,
that
I can
too.
always
Wait.
count on them to be and do or whatever I need.
Mm-hmm.
So that part is established. I feel like my girl group is girl grouping. Hey, y'all. But
just the
guys wise,
relationship
like,
part.
no, I don't have anybody that I feel like I can depend on for everything if I needed them. Like, so that is why I'm very independent. And I'm not one that wants to be independent by any means. Hey,
I'm ready to be dependent.
Okay,
Paying all these
like,
bills
I
by
like to
myself.
be
care of me,
independent.
please.
I was so tired of this 50-50 comment. I would gladly do 50-50, okay? Once you go 100%, I'll sign up for 50-50. Sign up right on up. Where you want to sign at?
It was on TikTok, that little mortgage thing where the women would prank their husbands talking about they don't have the money
yeah.
for the mortgage. Like, I want to be one of them. Like, where is the list to get on that? Like, I want to be on that list. Like,
They out there. They just
Okay.
might not be your type.
That is true.
ooh, you
We
just,
talked about that too.
you opening up a whole nother book.
It's true. And she touched on something too, like when you were talking about your relationships, like with, she said maybe you need to reevaluate your circle. That's something I had to do as well. I had to reevaluate the people that were in my so-called circle because I was there for you, but you weren't there for me. So I had to just take a step back and, you know, be like, okay, well, let me remove myself from this and see how this works out.
I think
Yeah,
that's
sure.
why most of my friends now are family.
They are. Our friends are. We're all related.
Yeah, so I mean, me and her cousins once removed.
Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
But yeah, like, I don't, like, if I haven't been friends with somebody for over 5 years, like, I just don't feel like they will understand who I am and where I've been and won't enjoy the things that I give to them. Like, I feel like it might be like a using thing.
I think it just depends on who you run into because even in my adulthood, I've met some great people that I now consider family.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
it's just about
The person
the
themselves.
person themselves.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you. Love you. Like, I'm adding you to friends list for
Period.
sure.
Okay, love it.
This is my first time meeting her, but I love the vibes.
Yeah,
Love the
okay.
Absolutely. Well, you know we saw it.
We will, yes.
So we here.
I'm like, you can always pick energy off of people, and like,
You can.
as soon as like I met you, I was like, oh yeah, I like her.
And when she told me, she's like, I got us somebody for the podcast. I'm like, who you got, girl? She's like, how you do that?
right, okay, because I only child, like
Me too.
I'm not great at meeting people.
Yeah.
Like, a lot of people will be like, oh, she's stuck up because she
Oh,
didn't speak to
God.
us, blah 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 blah. Like, I'm really shy, so I'm not getting ready to walk into a room and like, hey, I'm
I'm
How
here.
are you? I could do this, I could do that, let's hang out. I'm not that.
Yeah.
But like, when I met you, like, the vibe was really good. You were chill, you were laid back, and like, I feel like we just started meshing, and then you laid out my laundry on the table. But it's always been a good vibe with you.
Same. No, I try to come in a room and, I don't have to do the grand big energy, but, I will come in and speak. It doesn't take much to just say hey to somebody for 5 minutes. And based on how you engage back with me, I know, like, okay, I can talk to you more, or let me just back off. So.
Oh, yeah. See, I need to get to the place where I'm like, I could walk into a room and speak to people, because normally I just, hey, how you doing? And then I'm going to be over here on the side.
If my group is there, I'm going to be over there with my group. If not, I'm going to be back here by myself. Because like she said, I'm the only child on my mom's side. My dad we talked about this last time.
Yeah.
That I have a sister and a brother, and I'm like 16 years older than. Mm-hmm. So I grew up the only child, basically. And I'm the same way. People don't consider me as shy, but I am shy. I'm not a conversation starter. I don't walk in a room and, like, my oldest daughter, oh my God, Aaliyah, can talk to this wall right here and have a whole, like, just laugh, crack up. That ain't me. I don't do that.
Yeah.
But people perceive me as being standoffish or stuck up because I'm like that, when really I'm not. And anybody can tell you that has really got to know me. They're like, yeah, when we first met her, we thought she was this, that, and this. But then they tell you, yeah, Tia is cool as, she's just cool. And I am. Like,
I've gotten that a whole
around.
lot. People be like, oh, she a bitch. And I'm like, one of my best friends, like, we did not like each other. She was like, oh, she walk into work with heels on every day and sits over there and don't talk to nobody. She's snooty. And I'm like, I'm really just shy.
Yeah.
Now we've been friends for like 15 years.
Yeah. Because people just go by off what they see. So if you walk in and you just got this look,
and I do don't get me wrong,
my
children tell me all the time, Mama, you have this aura about yourself when you walk in. And some people see it as confidence, other people see it as intimidation. Mm-hmm. I'm not trying to intimidate. Well, let me rephrase that. Some people I do intimidate on purpose. I'm not. If we're being honest, I do use intimidation sometimes on purpose, but 90% of the time it's not that. It's just I am that introvert.
Yeah,
I am.
I'm very introverted.
I'm an introvert.
But, like, around family and friends, like, I definitely am the life of the party.
Yes.
I am the firecracker or the match that's going to get the party started. But I just feel like I have to be comfortable to be able to be myself.
Yes, that is the key word, comfortable.
And if I'm not comfortable,
I have to be comfortable.
About to sit over here
I have to be comfortable, and if I'm out, I have to be comfortable. I have to feel safe.
Yeah.
If I don't feel comfortable or safe, I'm going to stand back in my corner. I'm not going to drink as much.
Okay.
I'm going to just be on my P's and Q's.
No, I totally agree with that.
Yeah. See, it takes me a moment to, like, when I first meet people, like, I can speak and say, hey, and they're like, I got to fill you out. My best friend, shout out to Emmy, she meets no stranger. I mean, she would literally walk up to a stranger and dance and have a good time. And I'm like, do you know this person? Like, who are you? And then I start meeting people through her, like, oh yeah, you so-and-so friend. Like, how you know me? Like, we met, didn't we? I don't remember. But, she's very outgoing. Like, me, I can be to a certain extent. I gotta read you first.
That's
definitely.
I gotta read you first.
I do too. I gotta read the room.
You have to.
I gotta read the room. And I am a people watcher. I just sit back and
You learn more when you are quiet in the back of the room than when you're in the front being loud.
Now, listen, I love to people watch.
I do.
That's what it is, people watch.
And I don't know if that's the only child thing or whatever, but I will go to a restaurant by myself and just sit and people watch.
I love to go to a restaurant, table for one, please.
Yes.
And just sit there and
some people have a problem with it. Like, how do you go sit by yourself? Easy.
It was hard. That's something that I had to get used to doing.
Really?
Well, I say dating myself. Like, that's what it took. It took me dating myself to be comfortable to going out and just going out to dinner or going to the movies. Like, I always felt like I had to have somebody. And that may just be me
I mean,
because
I know people
I'm
like
the
that.
oldest and I have siblings, so I'm always used to having somebody
Yeah,
with
see,
me.
we're not.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's easy for you guys.
I will make
That
a
was hard for
reservation
me.
real quick.
Look, sometimes I would rather be by myself.
No, and now I get it. And now I get it. Like going out by myself, I'm like, oh, it's just so good not to talk to somebody.
You don't
like, just
have to
sit
cater
complete
to
silence.
other
Yes.
people's wants and needs. Like, it is. I agree. I took my first solo trip. Shout out to Chicago. It was the best city to go to by yourself. Wake up when you want to, do what you want to do, eat what you want to eat.
No itinerary.
No itinerary. Just get like whatever pops up in your mind is what's on your agenda.
Yeah,
And you don't have to ask, hey, you want to do this? Are you okay with doing that?
I agree. I did that one day, not last year before last, when I flew to New York for a day. I woke up one morning. I was going through a lot. I was caregiver for my grandmother, and it was just a lot going on. I was sick myself. And I woke up one day and said, you know what? I'm going to go to New York today. So I booked me a flight, and I was in New York by 9 o'clock that morning. By 10 o'clock that night, I was back home. And I spent the whole day in New York. I walked Central Park. I didn't have anybody, well, do you want to do this? Do you want to do this? No, it was what I wanted to do. I went and had lunch by myself. I went, like I said, walked through Central Park by myself. I walked to Times Square. I did all the things in one day. And then I went home.
I love that. I need to try that. I've never done a solo trip before. I really need
That
to
was
try
my
that.
first one, but I'm
the best.
telling you, go somewhere where you've never been in a whole, like, and do things that you've never done.
Yes.
Like, experience them for yourself, by yourself.
Yeah. I need to try that
You do.
because sometimes I don't want to do too much. And
I mean, it's with you. So
right?
what
so
is too
going
much? Who's
well,
defining
okay,
it?
right? Yeah. So that's why I'm like, I need to take a solo trip because, like, I might go on a trip with somebody and like, okay, we're gonna go here, we're gonna go to clubs, and I'm
Yes.
past the club scene. Don't have
yeah.
me in no club. Like, I don't even want to go for your birthday. To be honest, invite me to the dinner.
Don't count me in.
Invite me to the dinner, and then I'm going home, okay? Because it's against my religion to be out past 11, okay? I don't know what religion that is, but
Okay,
it's
so you a
against my
day
religion.
partier.
Yeah.
Noted.
Yes, we are too.
Listen, I'm telling you, me and my friend, like, we do not, like, 7 o'clock. Wait, girl, what you want to do? We going out, okay? Anything after 9, we're not even planning. We
Okay,
going
'cause what
to
are we doing?
reschedule, yes. So I think just going out and just really just doing a solo trip and just having that time with yourself and doing what you want to do.
Yes.
And not catering, like you said, to anybody else. Like,
You'll really enjoy it.
I'm gonna have to make that my birthday trip, just a solo trip.
Oh,
Do
that would
it.
be
You do it.
nice.
I'm telling you, do it. You will enjoy it. You really will.
It will be one of your most memorable trips.
Well, guys, I think we're coming up on time.
Yeah.
So
This was nice.
it was nice to meet
I'm
you.
so glad
Nice
that
to
you
meet
came.
you.
Yeah.
I'm so
I'm
glad
glad
that you invited me.
Yes,
This is really
ma'am.
nice.
We'll definitely have to have you again.
Yes. love this.
And thank you guys for tuning in.
Yes.
We will have this up and running as soon as we get our editing done. And,
So, Not Your Cup of Tea with Aisha
and Tia,
and Miss.
Darian Lyons.
Yeah. Thank you.
thank you.